Good morning. I'm Julia Quinn from Queensland, Australia, and it's now 11 o'clock in my time and my scheduled slot to come on for the Global Share Fair. I hope you've enjoyed the presentation so far. I haven't had a chance to see any except for Tracy's this morning because most of them were while I was asleep. But I did love the gnomes, and Tracy, I didn't think I needed the gnomes, but you know, I could be tempted now. That was a beautiful card. Thank you for sharing it with us. Now, my card is a decorative corner fold card, which actually folds flat to stamp. And it's a little box that it's just pretty fun, actually. And you can write on the back there for your greeting. And it stands up really nicely. The original card I made in this fold was actually much bigger, but I have adapted the measurements to make a card that will fit in a standard envelope, and you can get 2 out of 1 piece of cardstock. I'm using the Bottled Happiness bundle, which includes the lovely Bottled Happiness stamp set and the coordinating bundle. And I'm also using coordinating punch, I beg your pardon. I'm also using lots and lots of punches with my project, but the one I'm using most is the bow punch. And if you purchase this bundle of the Bottled Happiness with the vintage bottle and the bow punch, that qualifies you to receive a level 1 celebration prize, which is what I have used here on my paper, on my card, which is the foil. Let me show you. It's this silver and gold designer series foil, 6x6. It has 24 sheets, 12 of each of 2 designs. So, but one half of them are silver and half of them are gold. So lots of flexibility and spots and stripes. So that's what I've used on my card. And let me show you the Bottled Happiness bundle. It's right at the beginning of the catalogue, page 16. And the bundle is this lovely, excuse me, stamp set and punch. I want to apologise in advance. I've been really sick for several weeks. And I'll try not to cough, but sometimes talking does make me cough. So I'll try really hard not to cough too much, but I do apologise in advance. Okay, let's get started. Oh, I'm also using, for my greeting, on the back of my card, this lovely one from Flowers of Friendship. Okay, so just pop them aside and get out my cardstock ready to go. Now, as I said, I have created the measurements of this card so that you can fit 2 per sheet of cardstock. Now, I have already cut and scored this for you. Hopefully I'll be fine now. Cut and scored. So my card in metric is half of a sheet of cardstock, okay, so which is 21 centimetres wide and then almost 30 centimetres long. So this is 14.7 by 21. And I have scored it at 5, 10, 15 and 20 centimetres, which gives you a 1 centimetre tab to stick your card together. And I did work out the measurements for Imperial, and I haven't tried it to know if this is correct, but hopefully my mathematics has worked out. So with your Imperial, I think it would be 5.5 this way by 8.5 that way, and scored at 2, 4, 6 and 8, giving you ½ an inch for your tab. Hopefully that's correct. And then my next layers are Smoky Slate, which is a little bit smaller, so in metric 4.5 centimetres by the next one down. So I've got Smoky Slate, 4 of them, and also this is where that gorgeous foil paper comes in the spots and the stripes. But I'm not going to put that together yet because the first step of my card is actually to stamp on my vellum to create these bottles that are see-through on my card, because it takes a little while for the vellum to dry. Okay, oops, I'm going to use basic grey for that. I'll just get my stamping mat in here. and I'll stamp a bunch of bottles, just the outline. I haven't used the solid image. I'll just stamp a bunch of bottles on my... Now this vellum is one of the pieces out of the layered vellum. I should have shown you where that was in the catalogue. It is... It has other designs on the vellum as well, but it also comes with a whole bunch of plain vellum. So there we go. I'll just set that aside to dry for a minute. I stamped them quite close to each other, so hopefully that'll work out. Now while I'm doing my stamping, I'll just set you aside to dry for a minute. I'm going to stamp onto my foil pieces this lovely little squat bottle, the solid image. Now because this is foil, it actually resists the ink, but I didn't think that was a bad thing. I really didn't think it looked bad at all. And I'm putting these bottles up a little bit, so in the perspective when we put our other ones on, we'll just set them forward a bit so they look like they're standing in front. So I'm not putting them down too low on my foil. Oh, beautiful. I love that little bottle. And one over this side, and one more here. Actually, I might do two on this one. There we go. So there's that little squat bottle. Is there anything else I need to stamp? Oh, whoops. Okay, I didn't stamp a bottle on that one, but I did on my sorry, on my demonstration one. Okay, now on some of these, I won't on the one for the back, I'll leave him, but on these other ones I'm going to stamp. Can you see how I've got the Blackberry Bliss little fronds stamped behind coming out of this little bottle here? So I'm just going to change to my Blackberry Bliss. And this little frond, he's just, I love this frond. I just love its delicacy, and the way it stamps is beautiful. So pop that up there. There we go. Might put a couple in this one. And I'll leave that one blank. And then one up there. Okie dokie. And then my last bit of stamping is these two, which I will punch, is the Overflowing with Happiness. This comes from the Bottled Happiness stamp set. Just pop that straight in the middle there. And my Life is Better with Friends Like You. Isn't that a lovely sentiment? I'll just pop that in there. Okay. Right, so that's all my stamping complete. Now it's up to the assembly and the construction of this fun fold. Excuse me. I think I'm doing pretty well. Not coughing in the last few minutes has been good. Okay, so first of all, the first bit of punching, because there's a lot of punching to go on now. First bit of punching I'm going to do is using the double oval. Just punch 2 ovals out of the Blackberry Bliss. Now these are to enable us to construct this part of the box that has the greeting sitting out proud of the rest of the card, and it gives it that lovely little engineering quality. So with both, you can use any sort of shape really, but I've used the oval because it has the tapered edges. I'm folding them both in half, and then before I stick anything else on, now the previous box I created using this fold had the actual, this element up the top, and you can do beautiful flowers and greetings and whatnot. But because I'm using the bottles, I wanted it sort of down as part of the little bottle parade. So I'm just going to use my Seal Plus and put one there with the fold facing the score line there. Not on top of the score line, just beside the score line. You're not going to see this at all. It's just there to enable you later on to be able to stick your label for your element there. And before we do anything else, I'm just going to put my smoky slate over the top of that piece so that it becomes invisible. 1, 2, pop this one next to it over the top. So that goes down like that. And there we are. One more. Whoops. I'm just sticking these on while it's flat, just to make it a bit easier for myself actually. So this one here I want to be my writing panel for the greeting. So I'm going to pop that sort of away from where this element is here. That's sort of going to be the front of the card, so I'll make sure that goes on there. I don't actually need you. So then I'll get a spotty one next. Because I'm alternating stripes and spots, just to enjoy all of those lovely designs. And this is a really fun little fold you can use for so many occasions. Some of the most lovely ones I've seen have been sort of Christmassy with huge Christmas embellishments. Okay, so we've done all of that bit and pieces. Let's put our card together to see how it comes together. So I'm just folding on all my score lines, and as I do with all of my constructed folds, I like to use tear and tape because it's nice and strong and easy to put together. Okay, and just rip that off there. And because I want this to fold flat, the best, safest way to stick it is always to actually adhere it flat. That way it will fold properly. Okay, so there we go. There's our box. There's the front and the back, and there's our square. Now it's just up to embellishment. And most of the embellishment is going to be done with punches. Okay, so with my vintage bottle punch, I'm going to punch a couple of foil bottles using the silver foil. Now this silver foil has this beautiful shiny silver, and also has two more different silver foils. There's this one, which has a lovely slub texture and a little bit of a purpley sheen to it, and another shiny one that's a darker colour like that. Okay, now we can punch out our lovely vellum bottles. One. Oops. Don't forget the lid. 2. Oh my goodness. 3. And 4. Okay, that's that punched out. Next, I will punch out these two greetings. So this one here, just get my take your pick tool to move that around a bit. It's not working for me. The next best thing I like to do is, with a bit of rubbish, put a bit of adhesive on, stick my cardstock on, and that way I've got a handle. Okay, so that's that one. This one here is going to be punched using the lovely labels Pick a Punch. So this piece is actually 1 inch wide, which goes into the widest track. And I think it was 8 centimeters long, which I think might be, let me look at my trimmer, about 3 1/4 inches long. Okay, so that's those ones. Now, this is going to be my piece here, just a bit of Blackberry Bliss with the decorative circle punch. So that's the piece that I'm going to stick there to hold my bottles. But I will put the bottles on before I stick that one. And I'm also going to use the bow punch to punch some beautiful Blackberry Bliss. Just making the most of my cardstock here. I love, I do a lot of scrapbooking. So this punch to me is like the most useful punch in the whole catalogue, because it just adds that little bit of extra dimension and interest behind your flowers. And look, I can do one more. I'm sorry about the punching noise. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of those, and then with this silver foil I'll create some more out of the silver foil. One thing you do have to be aware with this silver foil is if you don't punch it cleanly, it sometimes takes the whole top layer, oh there's one still in there, top layer of the foil off, and you might end up with white pieces. I'm just seeing if I can get the, no I can't, so I'll just get a couple more of the little piece. And one more. Make the most use of my cardstock. Can't waste good foil. Okay, so let's start putting things together here. So I can put this one on because I know where I want that to be, and I don't want to make a mistake again and put, so if I put that up there, there's enough room to write, "To my dear friend, thank you." All right, and the rest is just sticking it on. Now these two go over here on my label, that one and that one. Okay, these guys I'm going to stick around my card, and I'm just going to use a bit of seal, and if you can, sticking it onto the white surface, you can't see where the adhesive is. Okay, so there's a good possibility I might see some on that one with the 2 bottles, so I'll just try to put my seal right where the stamping is, so that will camouflage it a little. There we go, there's that one. Excuse me. So put my adhesive over on the white section, can't see where it is, which is just fantastic, because vellum can be notoriously tricky to hide your adhesive. Okay, now the next bit is just sticking in all the pretty bits. Okay, so I'm going to save a couple for my front feature. Yeah, can you see what I said before? Sometimes the foil peels off the bottom, but hopefully when I stick that onto my card it won't be a problem. All right, there you go, you can see some more where I haven't punched it cleanly and it's ripped off some of the foil off the top. So just to be aware of that. Okay, favorite adhesive for Julia is mini glue dots, so I'm just going to pop a couple on those leaves because it's a nice big surface. Stick one inside my bottle. You may have noticed I only put adhesive on the main part of the bottle because we were trying to be careful as well. And then these little guys, oh, I'm having trouble seeing where these mini glue dots are, sorry about that. put one of those in there. And if I hide that underneath the blackberry bliss, no one would ever know that we had a little bit of a problem. Why did I put a bottle there? I didn't want one there. Less and less room to write to your friends on this card. Goodness gracious. Sorry about that. Okay. I guess if I really wanted to, I could peel it off. There's a good chance it might come off if I cross my eyes and put my tongue out the right way. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not really a great problem, I don't think. There we go. Sorry about my voice. I'm just grateful to be well enough to be able to do this today, because a couple of weeks ago there's no way I could have. So I have to count my blessings. All right, and a couple of little blackberry bliss ones. One. How am I going for time? I might have to finish up fairly soon so that I don't infringe on, I think Joy's after me at 11:30, so I won't put all of those ones on. I'll get to and do this one here. Pop my 2 bottles on. One a little bit behind, so up a bit, and one a little bit in front, so down a bit. Put my greeting, I'll just line that up so I don't put too much seal on. Across the middle. Okay, and same deal as before, but I'm going to put the mini glue dots on the back of the necks of my bottles, because I can't really stick the leaves onto anything because these ones will be free floating. Okay, so there we are. And found attached a couple more, and one there and one there. There we go. Now on this one, only putting adhesive right, my nice strong adhesive right on those 2 pieces. That's it. And then my label, center that while it's flat, and then when you stand it up, it sits out like that. Isn't that fun? I love this fold. It's so much fun. There we go. I hope you've enjoyed that. I'll put one lying down and one standing up so you can see them. And stick around because Joy will be here very shortly. Bye-bye now.